It was just another Friday night in Austin, Texas. Four teenage girls, full of life, laughter, and dreams for the future, were closing up a small yogurt shop. But within hours, the building would be engulfed in flames, and those same girls would be found murdered inside. The crime was so brutal, so senseless, it shook an entire city and left investigators chasing shadows for decades. This is the story of the yogurt shop murders, a mystery that haunted Texas for 34 years until new DNA evidence revealed a shocking truth. On December 6, 1991, Austin, Texas was forever changed. A late-night fire exposed one of the most horrific crimes in American history, the murder of four teenage girls inside a frozen yogurt shop. The case baffled police, tore families apart, and turned into one of the longest-running unsolved mysteries in Texas. Tonight, we'll uncover what really happened that night, how investigators struggled to find answers, and the shocking breakthrough that may finally solve the case. The shop was called I Can't Believe It's Yogurt. That night, 17-year-old Jennifer Harbison, her 15-year-old sister Sarah, 17-year-old Eliza Thomas, and 13-year-old Amy Ayers were working the closing shift. They were just kids, full of energy and plans for the weekend. Around midnight, firefighters were called to the store. They expected a routine fire. Instead, they discovered four young lives brutally taken. Three of the girls had been shot execution style. The youngest, Amy, had been strangled and then shot before the fire consumed the shop. The crime was cold, calculated, and merciless. Austin had never seen anything like it. Police believed robbery was the motive. The cash register was empty, and the fire looked like an attempt to cover up evidence, but leads were inconsistent. Witnesses reported seeing strange men around the shop that night. One described a man in a military jacket, another remembered two suspicious figures. Detectives eventually arrested four young men: Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, Morris Pierce, and Forrest Wellborn. Under pressure, some confessed, but their stories didn't match. The details were confused, and defense attorneys argued the confessions had been coerced. Years later, courts agreed. Their convictions were overturned. The families who had waited so long for justice suddenly found themselves back at the beginning. For the parents, it was unbearable. They had believed justice was within reach, only to see it vanish. One mother described the loss as an open wound that never heals. For Austin, the yogurt shop became a symbol of grief. The burned-out location stood as a painful reminder of that December night. Residents carried the fear and sorrow for decades. Then technology caught up. In the 2000s and 2010s, DNA testing advanced rapidly. Cold case investigators re-examined evidence from the crime scene. This time, the results were different. A DNA match connected the case to a man named Robert Eugene Brashers, a violent criminal suspected in multiple assaults and murders across the Midwest. But there was a problem. Brashers had already died by suicide in 1999. This revelation suggested that for nearly 2 decades, the wrong people had been accused, while the real suspect was dead and buried. What happened inside that shop? One theory suggests Brashers entered intending to rob the store, but when the girls became witnesses, he executed them to silence them. The fire was set to destroy the evidence. Investigators can't be sure. Was Brashers alone? Did he have an accomplice? And why that shop on that night? Some believe Brashers was a predator who stumbled upon the girls. Others think the attack may have been planned. The truth remains clouded in smoke and ash. Decades later, the yogurt shop murders remain an open wound for Austin and for the families. The DNA evidence points strongly toward Brashers, but because he is dead, the case may never officially close. For the victims' families, there is no true justice. For Austin, the memory of that December night remains one of its darkest chapters. More than 3 decades later, the scars of December 6, 1991 still remain. Families broken, a city haunted, and questions that refuse to fade. DNA evidence may point to Robert Eugene Brashers, but does that mean justice has finally been served? Or is the real truth still out there, buried in the shadows? The yogurt shop murders remind us of one terrifying reality. Sometimes the most ordinary nights can end in unimaginable horror. What do you believe really happened that night in Austin? The answer may never fully be known.